Okay, here we go with the watch list video for Friday, March 19th. Let's show a couple highlights from the chat room today because I had a really nice day. MOXC is one example. It was really strong. You can see the big move. Switch into 2-minute candles and probably looked about like that when I called out the twos buy zone. If you haven't seen our free webinars on buying pullbacks, this idea was straight out of what we teach in that webinar. Of course, we go into much more depth in the course, but there's a screenshot of my post, MOXC. This was in the chat room today. Twos buy zone that lines up with the high of day break retest from earlier. So what does that mean? The twos buy zone is right here, as many of you in the chat room already know, between the 8 and the 20, very close to the 220. There's the earlier high of day break I'm alluding to. So this topped out at, I don't know, I can't tell right now, maybe 330. And then as it's coming back down, a lot of times what happens is people put in a stop right below. Like maybe they buy the high of day break. They buy it right here as it's breaking the earlier high. It moves up. They put their stop at break even. And what often happens is the first pullback stops everybody out flat and then it runs. And that's why I decided to come up with that strategy. And so you see my fill there right at 329. I think it went down to 324 or something. I was never even a dime underwater. And there you go. So see that high of day right there? I'm hovering over it now, 335. So yeah, as it takes out 335 to the downside, right there at the 220, beautiful place to be sitting on a bid. And that was a really nice one. So EYES, go to 5-minute candles. I talked about how squinky this one's been, but it was holding up all day. And it topped out right here at 1580. You can see back a few days before, we had a couple other highs just above. So I love this over the highs. I did say something about how squinky this one is. Here's a screenshot. That's what I posted in chat. Eyes, high of day break idea. I rang the bell to get everybody's attention. And then I typed, it's squinky, but I like the time of day here, right? Because we're getting into the afternoon. And you see what happened. At the 1580 break, went pretty quickly. Let's go to fives. And it went from 1580, which triggered right there. It went all the way to almost 18. Ugly close, we don't care, right? We get long here and we're selling into strength, and that's what day traders do. So that was a really nice one also. I also called EBON, ugly close, right? Looks like, hey, no one longs could have made money on that today. Well, I called it long over over 1150, second mouse, which happened right there, the earlier high. Yesterday's close above that, and it ended up going up really nicely. So the entry idea was second mouse through 1150, and it went to 1270 before rolling over. Again, we don't care that it rolled over. We're day traders. SLGG, there's another one. I mean, there was a lot of stuff to trade today. SLGG, I called over the half. Figure this out here. There it is. So right there, it topped out at the half. And pulled back, and I liked the daily chart, so I called it second. Let me see how high it got. 47 actually. Bear with me. So I called it long over the 850 idea there, and it went to almost 10, 998 from that entry without really looking back. So that was a nice one too. The daily chart looked really good. Again, like a lot of stuff, it rolled over. Right now, you've got this big topping tail, but we don't care. We're day traders. And EXPR by memory here, Kevin P posted this through 5. The daily chart, if you ignore this topping tail, because again, like everything else, it rolled over. But if you look at this through 5 today, in the morning, you had 1, 2 catalysts just above. You had this tight wedge. Great post by Kevin P through 5 idea, which was right there. And look, it just took off from there. Love entries like that. That was a great post too. All right, enough of the highlights from today. What are we watching for tomorrow? I do not have a lot to watch. MOXC, I already talked about that one. Closing well off its highs, but strong day. So we're going to watch it. WKEY, very strong day. Yeah, it's a daily chart there. Closed at 1310. It's actually trading close to 14 and after hours. Held up pretty well, all things considered. I had a couple nice pullback trades in that one. JFIN, another strong one, but closing well off its highs. Just trying to focus on the recent high flyers. I threw OCG on watch, even though it's just crazy chart, because you had the big gap up and then the nasty reversal. But this all started around $4, so it's still at 10 something. So nobody's really winning right now when you look at longs and shorts, bulls and bears, what do you want to call them. Nobody's really winning, but it's got enough crazy action that as a day trader, I want to watch it. LIZI, after the big pop here, LIZI, you put in a lower high and then another lower high on the daily. So it still goes on bounce watch, no trades in it today. SAVA had the little mini breakout yesterday. Today, a quiet inside day on much lower volume. I'm looking for a third day play for that to turn up tomorrow. Ruby, didn't type that right, RUBY, had this big rip, then sold off a bit again, and today put in a pretty narrow range. Again, I'll point out 15-minute candles to you guys and point out that after it topped out around 38 here, the very next day, it did not break its opening 15-minute high, and it also did not today. This is another scenario where I would like it to trade in a narrow range all day and get an afternoon high of day break. That's my favorite setup on something like that one. MRKR in after hours is trading at $2.27 right now. A lot of insider buying was reported, and I think they also had some news in addition to that, a big price target or something. So anyway, it's definitely getting some action in after hours. We're going to keep our eyes on that as a gapper tomorrow. And also KNSA, I think, got FDA approval or something. And after hours, it's trading right now at 25.61. So there's a couple potential gappers. And that's it. It's not a big list. We'll add other gappers that we find in the morning in the pre-market. But overall, teamwork's been amazing. I don't really like what I'm seeing in the market as far as the market doesn't look so great right now and a lot of stuff rolling over. But we'll just focus on the ones that are in play. We'll stick to our process, and we'll just keep doing it. And I'm done babbling. We'll see you guys in chat.